Hello, my name is Cheyenne Davis, and I'm going to be talking to you about technology and its effects on dating and relationships. Technology has had major positive and negative effects on the process of dating and maintaining relationships. The positive effects are that you can meet new people whom you may have never encountered without technology. You can stay connected to your significant other when they are not with you by using texting, calling, and FaceTime, and you can use technology to share jokes and pictures, developing the relationship further. The negative effects can have a bigger impact on people in relationships. More options are available, so when things get tough in a relationship, people know the internet is full of potential dating partners, which gives less of an incentive to stay and work on the relationship. Technology also makes it much easier to cheat emotionally or physically. In How Technology is Changing Dating, Kara Hassan basically says that there are so many options, there is always a fear of missing out on something better. There are many different dating apps to choose from, like Tinder, Bumble, Grindr, and many more. The options are also a safety net because if the relationship fails, there are websites with infinite potential relationships. This has had an effect on the length and depth of average relationships because when people know they have more options, they will not take time or energy to put in the effort towards a healthy relationship, and as soon as things get hard, people give up. Minimal effort is put into dating on dating apps. You see their picture. If you like it, you swipe right, and if you don't, you swipe left. By viewing the person's profile, you can learn a little bit more about them. People usually have pretty minimal information on their profiles, maybe just their name, age, and college. It is easier now than ever to decide in a 10-second time span whether or not you want to date that person. Texting in relationships can also be positive and negative. Texting can be positive because you can keep in touch long distance, like at college, or short distance, if you live together. A text can be considered a sign that someone is thinking about you, which makes people happy. This is another example of how relationships, expectations, and romance have changed. Negatively, texting can cause fights due to misinterpretation. Conflict through texting can be tricky because you're not face-to-face, which can cause the fight to last longer. Body language and tone of voice are important in conflict, so fighting without those nonverbals can change and create more issues. On the other hand, fighting over text can be safer because you can write out everything you want to say without interruption in an organized way. You can make sure you really want to send that message, and it gives extra time to think about how what you're saying could affect the relationship long term. Once something is said or read, it cannot be undone. When people are angry, we tend to lash out at those we love the most, so having the option to go back and edit the message before you send it is a safer way to get your point across. Sammy Nichols wrote The 18 Unwritten Rules of Texting You Should Know, which has a list of rules about texting, but I have highlighted the most important rules she had. Number 1 is not to freak out when they don't respond immediately, and number 2 is to always respond because it's sad when somebody doesn't respond to you. Don't be rude about the timing of text. So like when people are sleeping, don't text a novel. Avoid sarcasm. It can be lost in translation very easily. Always double check autocorrect. Double check the recipient of the message because you can send it to the wrong person, which can be terrible. Respond proportionally and usually keep it to light topics. Like if you were not going to talk to them about it in person, don't talk about it over text. CMC relationships are computer-mediated communication relationships, meaning that they are text-only relationships. These relationships are seen as not real because not only has the couple not even usually met in real life, they do not know if that person is really who they say they are. In CMC magazine, Chenault basically says that these relationships are not seen as real because relationships need touch and implement nonverbal communication most of the time. A new issue that we have not ever had to deal with before, the internet, is catfishing, which is when someone lies about who they are or what they look like online, and it usually ends up hurting one or more people in the process. Our society did not really have this issue before the internet because you had to meet face to face, and you cannot lie about your appearance or who you say you are if you meet the person in real life. Social media, like most other technology in relationships, can be positive or negative. The positive side is that you or your significant other can post about each other and show your friends and family your relationship. There are more negatives than positives with social media and relationships. It is easier to cheat because through social media, you see people's lives the way they want you to see them. People usually only post their best pictures and posts because they want people to see them as perfect. This can be misleading, especially for our younger generation, because social media and the face we put on is not who we are. Social media can cause serious problems in a relationship because it is easy to hide or to just double tap and like a picture that we don't think our significant other will see until they do. All it takes is for your boyfriend to like a girl's selfie on Instagram and it's about to be World War III. It can cause a lot more problems than it solves. But technology can be positive and negative in relationships, but it seems that there are more negative possibilities than positive depending on the relationship. Thanks for listening.